it's Melody, and I don't usually post many Harry Potter videos, but if you saw my one or two Harry Potter covers, you know I'm a fan. So, anyway, today is the 19 years later epilogue day. Like, if you read Harry Potter and the epilogue of the story occurs on September 1st, 2017, and that's today. So, yeah, I'm celebrating, and I was telling my friend Molly here um, about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child and what happened next. But apparently she hasn't read it. So she's begging me. She's begging me to spoil her. Right, Molly? You're begging me to spoil you, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
And I told her time and time again, I'm not spoiling Harry Potter and the Cursed Child for you. Like, okay, so the story is good, but there are some plot holes, and whether we like it or not, it's canon. But there are still a bit of like issues that a huge part of the Harry Potter fandom have with the story. But personally, I like it, and I'm more than willing to share it with Molly. Except she hasn't read it yet, and I really do not want to ruin the fun for her or for any of you if you haven't read it. So if you don't like, if you don't want to be spoiled and you haven't read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, I recommend you click off the stream right now if there are any viewers to listen to this. But yeah, I recommend you to click off the stream right now if you don't want to be spoiled because Molly has kind of convinced me to spoil her. And go damn it, Molly, why? Why?
Cause I haven't watched it.
It's a play. And we're gonna be having fun with this, so it won't be very serious. I won't be narrating the story. I'd just be like throwing random bits of information here and there. So starting from here, we'll be just having a chat on the Hangouts stream thingy. Okay. So, what do you want to know?
I don't know what happens and everything. Like,
I told you a little bit on WhatsApp.
just tell me everything.
What do you ask me a
I
question?
know about Scorpion and Harry's son being pals and him going to freaking.
His name is Scorpius, not Scorpion. It's not a Scorpion. He's not a scorpion. His name is Scorpius, and that's final. Okay. What? What? Background music. It's background music. Okay. Okay. So spoilers coming your way. First spoiler: Albus Severus Potter got put into Slytherin, and he befriends Scorpius Malfoy. So, yeah. Any questions for me, Molly? Because I have no idea how to continue.
No, I know this.
What do you know?
Harry's son and Ravenclaw become pals, and Harry's son goes into freaking Slytherin.
Yeah. Hey, aren't you happy? Aren't you a Slytherin?
Yeah.
Hey. So today, right now in Hogwarts, in fact, if you look at the time, it should be around now. The sorting ceremony is taking place. Albus is getting sorted into your house.
Ooh, spooky.
It's happening, like right now.
Woo! The Slytherins are moving up.
So while children are being sorted at Hogwarts, two Muggles are. Wait, are we Muggles? How are we in Hogwarts? How is it we're Muggles? We are half-bloods pretending to be Muggles, using. Wait, no, she can't be a half-blood. No, you know what? Forget it. We're talking on a stream whilst kids are being sorted at Hogwarts. Anyway, where were we?
I don't know.
Right. Spoiling Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Seriously, I still can't believe you convinced me to do this. Did I mention Hermione's the Minister of Magic?
No, you have not.
I told you twice and you didn't listen. Yes, Hermione's the Minister of Magic. Let that sink in. Just let it sink in. So, like, think about it. At the scene where everybody is like going to Hogwarts and all the kids were boarding the train, like, can you imagine people looking around like, "Hi, Minister." Like, oh gosh, the minister is here. Oh wait, no, she's just sending her kid. Yeah, so she's minister. Ron is running a joke shop. He's doing a Fred's job. And like, okay, there is a lot of time travel involved. And let me just tell you a joke that Ron made. No, not a joke, more like a like I can't believe it thing. In alternate universe, and he was told what he was doing in the first reality, which is the original story. When he was told, he was like, Hermione becomes the minister, and I run a joke shop.
Okay.
Like, seriously? That was like his reaction. Like, I can't believe it. Seriously, she's a minister, and I'm just a joke shop owner. So yeah, he runs a joke shop. And how many of Harry's children's names do you know? James Sirius Potter, Albus Severus Potter, and Lily Luna Potter. Yeah, really, that's her name, Lily Luna. Not to be confused with Luna Lovegood, or even Princess Luna. And I can't find my thumb drive. Looks like I'll have to search for more Harry Potter songs on my own YouTube.
Okay.
So, look, I have no idea how to continue. You gotta ask me questions.
I don't know what to ask.
You gotta ask. Hey, you told the whole Hangouts group that I'm live.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Just I don't know what to spoil first. I don't even want to spoil you in the first place.
Let's do it.
Why? Okay. I'll just spoil everything that I've already told you, like in WhatsApp, because I don't think the viewers who want to be spoiled heard it yet. Well, there are. Let me see. Oh yeah. Rose and Rose Granger Weasley, the daughter of Ron and Hermione. She um she and Albus, they used to be really close cousins, but ever since Albus became friends with Scorpius, who has a mad crush on her, by the way, um, she started going more distant with her cousin because she doesn't like who he's hanging out with and stuff.
Okay.
And there's this whole like there are people who ship Albus and Scorpius like a gay romance because in the story they are really close. Um,
Okay.
and then some people think that there's a love triangle, but yeah. Oh, here's one sad piece of information. You know Draco Malfoy's wife. Um,
Uh-huh.
he married this woman called Astoria Greengrass, and she died.
Oh, that's a shame.
Poor Scorpius lost his mother at age 13. Um, yeah, and it was due to this illness thing that apparently is in her bloodline, her family bloodline. Um, yeah, it was really sad. It was tragic, and yeah, the majority of the story takes place in their fourth year. Like no, actually, yeah, it was their fourth year. It takes place in the year 2020. So yeah, at the year 2020, we Harry Potter fans can all do another stream like that because we're like, okay, it's happening now. Let's see our entire existence change due to alternate universes.
Okay.
So
Alternate
anyway, if you,
universes.
Right now, we're safe. Actually, no, we're not, because in an alternate universe, bad things are happening. Which brings us to a bigger spoiler. Um, yeah, so I told you that there are time travel things involved.
Yeah.
Like, if you recall in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, all the time turners got destroyed.
Uh huh.
Apparently not though. Like there is this new version of a time turner that was introduced to us in Cursed Child. It was not like it wasn't a necklace or something that you have to turn backwards like the one Hermione had in Prisoner of Azkaban.
Uh huh.
It's kind of like a device actually. It's like a device. It's a more powerful time turner. Apparently Death Eaters had it, but they didn't really have a chance to use it back in the Wizarding War. So it was found by the ministry and kept in like a secret file in Hermione's office because she's the minister.
Uh huh.
Oh, by the way, Harry Potter is head of magical law enforcement. Not bad, huh?
Is he?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Not bad. I wanna get Umbridge in the face because she didn't think he could do anything. He is head of medical law enforcement, I think, and also an Auror at the same time. I don't know. I'm confused. What's Harry's role? I need to go research on that again.
But
um,
like, oh,
you're getting excited, aren't you?
yeah.
So basically, okay, I'm gonna tell you the story. I'm gonna tell you the story in a summarized but still detailed way. So instead of 4 hours of audiobook, you only have to listen to me ramble for 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes, and
So,
that, and then
ready, people! Here is half of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Spoiler warning, you have been warned. You do not want to be spoiled. Like, if you don't want to be spoiled, you click off this video.
spoilers don't even annoy me right now.
Yeah, right now. Don't
Spoilers
don't
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 annoy
torture
me. I don't
yourself.
get it. I
You
don't get
won't.
pissed off when so. I don't
So
mind that.
I
Okay.
okay. I just hope there are no viewers who come in halfway through my spoiling. Okay. Basically, Harry and Scorpius become friends. 3 years of Hogwarts pass, and everything was going more or less great. Except that because Albus is the son of like the famous Harry Potter, he's been getting lots of pressure from schoolmates and stuff. And he feels like his father has too much blood on his hands and stuff like that. So he's a little bit, I don't know if it's self conscious or just feels uncomfortable. But yeah, um, he's not that, like, basically, let's just say he and his father didn't have a good relationship after a few years. I guess it's normal after like several years of like once you reach teenage years, it's normal to have trouble with your parents. Who even if your parents is the favorite Harry Potter, but still, he had trouble with his dad, and he felt like his dad accomplished so much and he didn't really do much. So there was this time when he wanted to prove himself. So one night, they received a weird visitor. This girl, this girl, she she came to she came to Harry's house and she was pulling a wheelchair. And you remember Amos Diggory?
Uh-huh.
So it so happens that Amos Diggory was in the wheelchair, and for some reason he was demanding that Harry use the turner that was recently recovered to go back in time to save his son's life.
Why?
I don't. Well, I'll tell you later. That's part of the bigger spoiler. Anyway, he said, "I want you to." He was having an argument with Harry. Harry's telling him that you cannot mess with time travel, especially so many years into the past. And Harry didn't feel good about this, mind you. He saw Cedric died right in front of his eyes. Not a good like to remind him that that happened, and that he wants him to bring his son back.
Mhm.
Harry, oh, like of course Harry said no, but Albus was eavesdropping, and he thought his father was being unreasonable. So he and his friend snuck off to go to the ministry to get the time turner. It just so happens that the person who pushed Amos Diggory in the wheelchair was also interested in getting a time turner to help Amos Diggory because, according to Amos Diggory, she was his niece, Delphi.
Okay.
Apparently, Delphi Diggory, which is said to be her name, is Amos Diggory's niece. So she wanted to help him. So she followed Albus and Scorpius to the ministry. Like basically, they picked her up from the wizard's equivalent of an old folks' home, but yeah, you know the place where the home where old people go to if no one takes care of them, the elderly. Anyway, there is such a thing for wizards, and they go off to the ministry together using polyjuice potion and stuff. Oh yeah, here's a fun fact. Um, Albus dressed like he used polyjuice potion and he turned into Ron. And he ran into Hermione, so he had to pretend to be her husband. So he kissed her like 20 times. And then like when he went away, Scorpius was like, you just kissed your aunt like 20 times.
Ah!
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, and then what's next? Um oh
No.
gosh, what's that? What's that sound? What's that sound?
No.
Wait, what's up?
No.
Oh, if you think this is innocent crushing enough, just you wait. Just you wait. What's in store for you? You'll go nuts. Just you wait, Molly. You won't like it. I mean, you won't be able to stand it. I mean, the overload of what the crap will get to you. Anyway, they found the time turner. Long story short, Hermione hid it in a book. Sounds like something Twilight Sparkle would do, by the way. Puts enchantments in a book with riddles and stuff to make you find it.
Yep.
Anyway, they used it to go back to the first task of the Triwizard Tournament. The plan being, if they prevented Cedric from winning the tournament, he wouldn't have been able to go to the graveyard and thus would not have been killed. Sounds
Uh-huh.
reasonable. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. It was all, well, Albus and Scorpius' fault because when they went back in time, Delphi wanted to follow, but she couldn't because she had to do something. I forgot what she had to do, but she couldn't follow them. And then they went back in time, the boys, dressed in Durmstrang uniforms so that they could blend in with the students from Durmstrang. But the problem came when um, Scorpius saw a young Hermione, a year four Goblet of Fire Hermione, and apparently she looked a lot like Rose, his crush. So he went to talk to her. Rule number one, don't talk to people in the past. Don't talk to people in the past, okay? First, your best friend kissed his aunt. Now you're talking to his past aunt thinking she's your crush.
Ew.
That's terrible, okay? Anyway, he asked he asked Rose, "Is that you? What you doing here?" And then young Hermione asked him, "Who's Rose?" Oh no. And then he realized he made a mistake and shut up. What they did was disarm Cedric before he could perform the first task, hoping that that would like cause him to be disqualified or something.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it didn't work. And when he went back to the present time, he realized that because he called Hermione Rose in a Durmstrang uniform, he that Hermione didn't trust Durmstrang people, so she didn't date Victor Crumb at the Yule Ball, and therefore she went with Ron. But going with Ron right off the bat wasn't a good idea because they didn't have time to realize how much they loved each other. So they broke off pretty quickly. And therefore Ron ended up marrying Padma Patel, which means
No!
Rose didn't exist. Which means Rose didn't exist. And and Cedric didn't get disqualified, so he still died. So it failed. The whole plan failed. Oh yeah, and Hermione lost her love, so she became a grumpy Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Yeah, that's it. Let it sink in. And if that's bad, wait till you hear what comes next.
Oh no.
You're not ready for this, are you? Are you? Molly's like, guys, whoever's watching, Molly's like, I'm dying. Why? Why?
No, I just can't. I understand. I understand that's her mom, but they don't look alike.
Whose mom?
Hermione and Rose, they don't look alike. I understand because like her hair is a bit brighter than.
I don't know. Maybe in the books they are alike. I don't know. In the books they never really describe Rose, so. But yeah, it's so. Oh geez, like you can just imagine, like poor Hermione, like who's Rose, and she can't trust Durmstrang people, so she ended up marrying like no one, and Ron married Padma because he broke up with Hermione because they didn't have time for their love to develop, which is so sad. And they had this kid, and we don't even know who that kid is. Anyway, I forgot the name of the kid. Not that we don't know who the kid is. We just forgot. I forgot the name. Anyway, if you want to know what comes next, be prepared for for killing overload. So it didn't work. It didn't work. Oh yeah, another bad thing. Albus is sorted into Gryffindor in this alternate reality.
What?
Because he begged the Sorting Hat to put him in Gryffindor.
Okay.
So I don't know why, but they had to do that. And in this alternate reality, Harry didn't like Albus and Scorpius to be friends because he felt like Scorpius got Albus into a whole lot of trouble. Well, technically, lots of things still remain the same in this alternate universe, such as Albus and Scorpius being friends, them running off to find the time turner and stuff. But basically, when Harry found out his son disappeared because his son jumped off the Hogwarts Express to find the turner, like seriously, that's what he did. He naturally went to the school to confront his son. So yeah, he thought it was all Scorpius's fault, so he forbade them from being friends.
Aww.
And then
No.
and then but they found a way. They found a way. Long story short, Albus stole James's invisibility cloak and they snuck off together.
Hey.
And they decided, Cedric still died. Our goal is to save Cedric and to get Ron and Hermione back together. Simple, right? Let's just go to the second
No.
task and humiliate Cedric to the point where he doesn't want to be in the tournament anymore. Then he won't die. Then Ron and Hermione will probably be back together again because they would laugh their heads off or something. I don't know what their plan was, but it kind of worked actually. Like they got Cedric out of the lake and he quit the tournament because he was humiliated. And
Mm-hmm.
when Hermione got back together, I don't know how that made sense, but they did. The problem is, their plan worked, but not in the way they wanted it to.
How?
Give me a minute. Let me just, because it's nighttime, and I'm gonna hide under blankets telling you the next part.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide under the blankets because I'm freaked out. So when they came back to the alternate reality, because they had to go to the lake, right, to go back in time. They had to go to the lake to humiliate the second task. So when he came out of the when he went back to present times, Scorpius realized Albus was gone.
What?
And that's not the worst part. A voice said, "Get out of the lake, Malfoy." And who was it? Our everybody's most hated pink-shawled lady with the toad face. Dolores Umbridge.
No. No.
Tell me, what do you think happened?
I don't know.
Well, I already hinted it's terrible, and Umbridge is in the school again, so
I hate Umbridge.
oh, she's just as terrible as ever in this version.
No.
I'll tell you what happened. They had ruined the future of the wizarding world.
No!
What do
Come
you think
on!
happened? What do you think happened?
I don't know anymore.
Do you
It's
still want to be
rude.
spoiled?
It's rude. I just know
I
this is
told
rude.
you.
Just
I
just
warned
okay.
you.
I just do it. Just end it.
Okay, okay. Okay, but it's not the end yet. This is far from the end. Okay, lots of touching moments coming, okay?
Okay.
But first, let me tell you the horrors of the future, of the present day. He was brought up to the office, and Scorpius was asking all about Harry Potter. And Umbridge was like, "Why are you so interested in him? He died years ago."
Oh.
And then Scorpius like, "What happened?" And Umbridge is like, he was killed by Voldemort, duh. And then she talked to Scorpius for a lot longer. And then, in the process, he learned that by saving Cedric Diggory's life, he did save his life, but Cedric was so humiliated that, and just think about it, okay? This is an argument that lots of Harry Potter fans make, but I want to put it out here on my channel. The reason what happened to Cedric was a sad thing because he was so humiliated. Um, he Can you imagine how Rita Skeeter twisted story? So she must have done a lot of twisting. Plus, Cedric's father must have been really disappointed in him. Plus, the public and Hogwarts, and so he faced lots of public rejection, humiliation, and don't forget that at the same time, Voldemort came to power that same year, and Voldemort preys on emotions such as
Yeah.
loneliness, rejection, and stuff. Cedric must have felt rejected and like he let everybody down, and Voldemort preyed on it. He convinced him to become a Death Eater. This is mainly speculation, but that's exactly what happened in the Cursed Child. I don't know how exactly he became a Death Eater, but that's the only logical explanation. And then, as a Death Eater, Cedric became so bitter and evil, he began killing people. And one of those whom he killed was Neville Longbottom.
No!
I I warned you the feels were coming.
Never!
I know. Let's cry. Neville. Go get a teddy bear or something. Go get your cat Fluffy and hug him or something.
Never Long Bottom!
But that's not the worst part. Okay, it is, but why it affected the Wizarding World so much is because Neville was the one who killed the snake. Without Neville, Voldemort couldn't have died.
No.
Which means during the final battle, the wand had no, like, I don't know why, but he managed to kill Harry. Voldemort.
No.
I don't really know how it happened either. If you guys want, I'll post a video on my theory on how Harry died. But yeah, basically, yeah, go cry. Cry. Cry.
No, my sweet cinnamon bun.
Oh, what?
My
What?
sweet cinnamon
What do you call him?
My cinnamon bun.
Well, people come in right now and ask what's wrong with you. Oh, guys, I just broke her. I just broke her. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to anyone who's crying right now too.
Is anyone even in this?
I don't know. But probably I'll get viewers later on after the stream is over. I don't know. Okay. I promise this is not the end. After that, Umbridge mentioned Severus Snape. And it looks like apparently for some reason he survived.
Really?
And that means Scorpius, of course, rushed down to Snape's dungeon to find him. He's heard all kinds of stories from Albus because Albus heard them all from his father about how Snape's a double agent, blah, 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 blah. And then to see him, these are Scorpius' precise words. He was alive. And he said, Professor Snape, it's such an honor. And he just looked at him like, what?
What?
Because in the alternate universe, Scorpius is actually a really mean guy. Because he was raised mean. For him to suddenly rush in from an alternate timeline and say, it's such an honor, it's weird because Snape taught him for the past 4 years. If you follow.
Yeah, I follow.
He would be like, what? And then like Scorpius starts asking questions, saying how he's from an alternate timeline and stuff. And he doesn't reveal anything until but Snape seemed so reluctant to help because he was worried it was a trap, I guess. But later on, like no matter what Scorpius did, he didn't believe him after after all the explanation about being in an alternate timeline and everything. But he didn't really believe, I guess. Then Scorpius made the ultimate review. Whoops! Sorry, guys. That's advert. Ignore the advert. Okay, anyway. Back to the story. This is what happened. Oh, seriously?
continue.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. I don't recognize this Harry Potter theme song or this Harry Potter soundtrack, but it's fine. Anyway, point is, um, he said to Snape, "You loved her, didn't you? You loved Lily." That was enough. Snape closed the dungeon door and told Scorpius to follow him. I think that was all the proof he needed. And then he brought Scorpius to a secret chamber. And there was Ron and Hermione alive. Snape, Ron, and Hermione were the only three good guys left. They were trying to bring a little bit of peace to the world of mayhem. Oh yeah, fun fact, there's a Voldemort day. And Voldemort was not the only one ruling. There was a somebody called the Augury ruling beside him. We'll figure more about that later. Anyway, Ron and Hermione were alive and together, probably married. I don't know if they were married. Maybe they weren't because of the war and stuff. Like, they can't get married. Like, I mean, they are wanted. If Umbridge finds them, they're screwed. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Who keeps texting my hang? Is that you?
It's the Book of Chaos.
Ah!
Maybe just confused on what to do. I'm just telling her.
Yeah, because I'm spoiling you.
Yes.
Anyway, what happened next was. Oh no. Please ignore the adverts, guys. Sorry, I'm distracted.
Fine.
Scorpius told Ron and Hermione and Snape about the alternate universe and what happened and what it was supposed to be like in the alternate universe. And that's where the whole joke was made about. Hermione's the Minister of Magic, and I run a joke shop. Anyway, Hermione said she was really smart. She was like, "Okay, so that those are the spells that you used in the first and second task. That should be easily fixed by a shield charm. We should go back in time and fix it, you know?" So that's what he did. In the first time, the first the first time they went back in time, um they fixed the first task. But when they came back to the present, it was still terrible. And unfortunately, they had to go to the forest to do the first task because um they go back in time, they don't change location, they just change time. So you got to stand at approximately the same location as the event that you want to go back in time to. So that's why they had to go to the Forbidden Forest to do the first task. And because of that, they were out in the open and they got caught when they came back from the past after fixing the first task. Umbridge said, "Ha! Found you at last," or something like that. And then, like, she caught Snape as well, and Snape tried to act as though he was, still the bad guy, but it failed. So he gave this smirk to Umbridge and asked, "How long have you known Dolores?" And she said, "Years." So apparently, Umbridge has suspected for years that Snape was a double agent. Anyway, she sent the Dementors after them. Are you even listening to this anymore? Are you even listening to this anymore?
I am. I'm just.
Anyway, Umbridge sends the Dementors after Snape, Hermione, Ron, and Scorpius to give the
Peace.
Dementors. They produced Patronuses, but
Nope.
they weren't that powerful. Snape told Scorpius to think of one happy person, and that was like one person that made him happy, and that was enough. That was enough to produce a Patronus because Scorpius hadn't produced one before. He thought of his best friend, Albus Potter, who now didn't exist because of their act. Because Harry died, and therefore Albus could not have been born. He thought of his friend.
Oh god.
Snape, Ron, and Hermione, and Albus, they were almost at the lake to go back in time for a second task, but the Dementors caught up with them. They were advancing fast. Then they did the bravest thing. The three of them formed a barricade between the Dementors and Scorpius, told him to run. Go, save the present. Don't worry about them. They were
Carry
so
on.
weak they fell to the floor. And the Dementors, you know what happened. But before that, Snape told this to Scorpius. Let me tell you. Before that, Snape told this to Scorpius. He told Scorpius, Tell tell your friend, Albus, that I'm honored that he carries my name. Those were his last words. Those were his last words in the alternate universe before the Dementors performed the snips.
That's so sad though.
You don't sound sad.
What? It's just
Snips.
guys. Snape can never
He
can
he got
can.
his. Well, Snape survived in the alternate universe, and he just got himself killed again.
And the slip. Snape will survive, but then he dies. Like short
Who
after.
survived?
Like alternate universe. He'll survive, but then he'll die.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, he'll suffer a fate worse than death, just without his soul. Well, Scorpius did as he was told. He went back and put a shield charm on the engorgement charm they used on Cedric in the second task, fixing the present for good.
Yay!
Everything went back to normal. Snape was still dead, and Hermione and Ron didn't have their souls sucked out. Although he found his best friend back. But they were screwed for messing with time, of course. The parents weren't happy, as you probably can guess.
Yeah.
Then, while Albus was sleeping in a dormitory one night, he received a visitor, a pretty girl with silver hair and blonde tips. It was Delphi. She asked him, how did it go? The two of them went up to the astronomy tower to talk. Oh. You know, at this point of the story, you would think Albus had a crush on this Delphi girl.
Uh,
Which, if that was the case, it would have been pretty neat. But no, that wasn't that wasn't to be. Delphi asked for information about the time turner and the alternate universe. When he told her about the augury, she snapped. She demanded that he and Scorpius go down to the Quidditch pitch right away. She wanted to ruin the third task. She wanted to make sure Cedric didn't pass the tournament, that he would fail and he would become a Death Eater because she realized who the augury was.
oh shit.
Her.
Bum bum bum.
So she was the person ruling alongside Voldemort in the alternate universe, and she wanted that. She wanted it. She didn't go back to the second or first task because they had already been modified with long enough, like bad enough. So bad idea, I guess. But that was a really cool. I like how they played this out. Oh wait, I forgot to mention when they were about to go back in time, one of Albus's um classmates ran up to him and said, "Your dad's looking for you." And Delphi, the evil person that she was, she cast a killing curse at the student. That's right. Delphi, 23-year-old witch or
Yeah.
something, killed
I
a
told you she was somehow
student.
related. I told you she was somehow related to freaking Voldemort. I told you she was somehow related to him. I just put
What
Voldemort
makes
female. Holy shit.
what makes you what are you doing?
I don't know. Kind of rubs me
Whatever
off.
she cast a killing curse and she forced them to go back to the third task. Now, I'm not sure how well you read the Harry Potter books or how thoroughly, but there was this one scene where Harry was just walking in the maze and he heard a girl screaming. I'm not sure if you remember that. Harry was walking through the maze and he heard a girl screaming and he thought it was Fleur. He thought it was Fleur
Okay,
Delacour,
carry
but
on.
do you remember that? Molly?
Carry on.
Yeah, so if you remember, there was a scene where there was a girl screaming in the fourth book, and Harry was like, "Fleur, is that you?" It turns out it wasn't Fleur at all.
Who was that?
It was Delphi. When she went back in time to modify the third task, Scorpius and Albus got tied up, and Cedric Diggory found them, and he asked, "Who are you? What is this test?" And Albus said, "Free us. That's the test." And he freed them because it was a simple charm. And they decided to tie up Delphi because she was being mean. So they decided to tie her up. Um,
Who
so
did? Who
she
did?
screamed, and that was the lady's scream, the female scream that Harry heard. hmm It must have been. There was no other screaming that can be described. It must have been. Like it was never explained in the fourth book. I got a feeling the writers noticed, so they decided to explain it. That's my theory. It
Okay.
must be Delphi. But when they tied her up, she smashed the time turner. Like she pushed the turner back to a certain amount of time back into the past, and then she broke it so that they could never go back to the future. So they were stuck in a random year that they didn't know the name of.
Oh, jeez.
They escaped the Hogwarts grounds and somehow ended up at a train station. A newspaper read October 30th, 1981.
Okay, carry on.
Oh, come on! I was hoping for you to realize
Carry
what that
on.
date means. Tell me.
Carry on.
The
I
day
didn't.
Harry the day Harry Potter's parents were murdered.
I know. Carry
1981
on.
October 31st.
No, carry on.
They went off to Godric's Hollow because they got a feeling that Delphi was going to attack Harry, baby Harry.
Uh huh.
But it turns out that wasn't the case. And they knew that if Delphi came, they couldn't fight her on their own. So they decided to send a message through time to their parents to ask for help.
Okay, carry on.
Now, I forgot I told you that they had a bad relationship, Harry and Albus. Um During one of their fights, Harry tried to show Albus, more like present to him, a baby blanket. Really, a baby blanket. I can see why Albus got pissed, but still. It was the blanket that Harry was found in the Dursleys' doorstep. It was that very same blanket that was around Harry when he was found in the Dursleys' doorstep. I can see why Harry liked it and he wanted his son to see it too. But they argued over the blanket and it was thrown across the room and it hit a jug of some potions. The potions
Mm-hmm.
splattered the blanket and ruined it. And Harry was really upset. He was like, "That's my last memory of my parents and you ruined it." Now, as they were in Godric's Hollow in
Uh-huh.
1981, they saw Harry's mother, which is Albus' grandmother. Lily Potter. She walked out holding baby Harry in a stroller, and he was wrapped in that blanket. And Albus realized something. What if I write a hidden message to my father on that blanket, and it will be invisible until it came in contact with a certain substance that's in the potion? Then, in that case, Harry would be able to read it at the right time and come back to help him. It was a genius idea. So that's what they did. And Harry in the future received the message because he was really angry with his son and everything. So he was going through his things and he found the blanket and he saw the words that were written from the past. Dad
Oh,
help Godric's Hollow 31st 30th 31st October 1981.
okay, carry on.
The problem is they don't have a time turner.
Mm-hmm.
But Draco Malfoy happened to have one. Apparently, the time turner that the Ministry took was just a decoy. The real one was with the Malfoys.
But that boy.
And Draco Malfoy, being a good guy now, he helped them. He wanted to get his son too. His son was stuck in the past too. So he and Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Ginny, they went back in time to retrieve their children. And Ron and Hermione had no kids back in that time, but still. In the process, they realized that Delphi's plan wasn't to kill baby Harry. It was to warn Voldemort not to kill Harry. Now that sounds like a good thing, right? Telling Voldemort not to kill baby Harry Potter. The problem is it
Yeah.
would mess up with the entire future. Who knows what could have happened if baby Harry didn't lose his parents? Everything that we know could not have happened. And
Okay, carry on.
Harry knew that it had to happen, that his parents had to die. It was hard. He was back in 1981. He could have stopped it from happening. But no. But before that, he witnessed Voldemort coming, and he knew that Delphi was going to try and warn Voldemort. So he used magic to alter his appearance to look like Voldemort so that he could face Delphi and learn her secret and her plans. And did I mention that in the process he discovered that Delphi could speak parcel tongue?
Oh no.
He Before going back in time, Harry went to the elderly home that Delphi worked at. She claimed to be Amos Diggory's niece. But he used some magic to reveal what was really hidden in her room. And apparently, she had coded messages written all over her wall saying, "I'll revive you one day, father."
Okay.
Oh, come on. Haven't you guessed it yet?
No, my brain's kind of slow right now.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you in Delphi's own words. She said to Harry, who was disguised as Voldemort, she said,
Okay.
"I am Delphi, your daughter, future daughter of you and Bellatrix Lestrange." Go on. Keep hitting the table.
No. 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 No.
Evil Melody laugh. I warned you. I warned you.
And
I warned you. So, 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 so. So, Voldemort and Bellatrix had a kid. Big surprise. Who am I kidding?
ugh,
It's a big surprise.
ugh,
Well,
ugh.
if you think about it logically, Voldemort would not have any trouble at all convincing Bellatrix because she was so in love. Why would he want a kid though was the biggest mystery. And I think most Harry Potter fans still don't know. And I honestly don't really know that much either. Long story short, she discovered Harry was Voldemort. I mean, like, Voldemort was, like, the Voldemort she was talking to was actually Harry Potter. They had a battle and they won, basically, with what do you expect? 7 against 1. They won and they tied her up and they hid in a corner while the real Voldemort came. And Harry, this is the heartbreaking part, he had to witness Harry, 40-year-old Harry Potter, had to witness Voldemort murder his parents again right in front of him
Oh, that's traumatic.
from a window. Like, he witnessed it as a baby, he can't remember it that well, but now as an adult, he had to see the whole thing exactly as it is again. He could have stepped in and helped, but he knew that would mess up the entire future. So he let his parents die right in front of his eyes. He had no choice. It was the most painful thing he ever did. And as he watched it happen, he actually couldn't stand up. He was falling to the floor. I think he was going to faint or something, or was he just shaken to the point where he couldn't stand. I know that Ginny and Albus held his hands while that happened because it was hard. His wife and his son. When they went back in time, Delphi was put into Azkaban for murdering a student, and and um Harry and Albus made amends because, you know, they had a bad relationship until that point. And I guess you could say they all lived happily ever after.
That's a shame. Watching your parents die.
Right in front of you.
And you couldn't even fucking do anything.
Oh, if it were me, I don't think I'll be able to stand it.
Yeah.
That's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in a nutshell. And I said I'll ramble for 5 minutes. I apparently used more than half an hour. But there you go. I skipped all the irrelevant points. Those are the important stuff that you need to know. The irrelevant points are literally irrelevant. If I took them out of the story, which I already did, there'd be no difference. Except that some people think that the irrelevant points are relevant and they start making plot holes. And I can understand why, but I don't really care about those. Still, it kind of ruined the 19 years later image, didn't it?
Yeah.
What did I tell you about terrible, terrible, terrible things? What did I tell you about Delphi's identity? I didn't want you to know for a reason. I already guessed she was related to Bellatrix somehow because she was so crazy. But I didn't think, like, can you even imagine Voldemort and Bellatrix and a kid? And,
I
like,
can't.
I kind of can, but, like, Voldemort? Seriously? My channel is pretty G rated, but seriously, thinking about it is just. Sorry, but who would want to have kids with Voldemort? Oh,
I
wait,
don't know.
Bellatrix. The crazy one.
Yeah.
Hmm. By the way, I kind of feel sorry for her though. I mean, Delphi. Her story is kind of sad. She was raised in this, I don't know what place. She never went to Hogwarts, which I'm actually surprised because she has really great magical potential. Maybe the Hogwarts letter reached her and she just didn't have a parent or guardian to take her and she just didn't reply or anything. She was mistreated as a little girl and everything like that. She told Albus she never had a best friend.
Mm.
So, yeah, I kind of feel sad for her. Oh, plus her mom's dead and her stepdad, Rodolphus Lestrange, told her identity. So I guess you can say she's obsessed with finding her father, also for the same reasons as some other people might be obsessed with Voldemort, because they need a purpose in life and they don't have it.
That was a shame.
So yeah. Like, if she didn't kill that Hogwarts students, she could have had a second chance in life. Because she wouldn't have been put into Azkaban. She would have been trialed, maybe, and perhaps sentenced for a few years at most. But she could have been released later on and, given a second chance. But because she killed a student, she was probably sentenced to life sentence in Azkaban. You ruined your own life, Delphi. That last bit was your fault.
Shut up.
What? So that was Melody spoiling Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Wow. What do you want to do now? Anyway, right now at Hogwarts, they probably have already been sorted and they're probably eating a feast right now. I want food. I want food. But yeah, that's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. But whatever it is, I'm very glad that we have um seen like more expansion into the magical world. And J.K. Rowling is writing a prequel. Harry Potter, the Fantastic Beasts series is actually a prequel. Like not, I don't think they consider it a prequel, but it is. It was during the time when Grindelwald was still an evil and stuff. It was in 1926, so that would probably be the time when Grindelwald was evil before Voldemort. And yeah, Newt Scamander, great. Like he's probably like the great father-in-law of Luna. So yeah, a prequel. And I haven't watched Fantastic Beasts. I hope I get the chance to do it soon. But I heard it's a good one. And that's just me spoiling Harry Potter. I'll be ending the stream in a minute or two. Okay, Molly?
Yeah.
So that was Melody spoiling Harry Potter and the Cursed Child for you. If you have been spoiled and you haven't read the books, then I'm sorry because I literally just summarized the story for you. So you don't have to go read it now, but you can still read it if you want. So, but whatever it is, Harry Potter is still Harry Potter. The world that J.K. Rowling created is so, I don't know, full of wonders, isn't it?
Yeah.
And whatever it is, I look forward to reading any new book she releases. And yeah, if I sound like I'm giving a speech, I'm trying to match this music to my voice to end the stream on a light note. So, 19 years later marks today. After this, Harry Potter and Crystal events will take place. And I'll be ending the stream in a few seconds. So just get ready to press the end button, will you?
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, maybe.
So, thanks for watching, every pony. I will not be posting Harry Potter content really often, but I might release a theory video on how Harry died. But other than that, I'll be sticking to ponies. But I have this project I'm working on with a friend. Harry Potter reacts to Hogwarts students react to Harry Potter, and I when that's out, I'll be posting a redirect video for you to go and see. So thanks for watching the stream, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and sorry if you got spoiled. And I hope you enjoyed it, Molly. What do you think?
It's very
Yeah. So yeah, happy new months to everybody. It's the 1st of September or 2nd of September to some ponies. I'll see you guys in my next video, Every Pony. Bye!